Hi Tracy, so this is your video on how to access your website and make some changes. So first of all, I've sent you an email which contains a link and your username and password. So if you click the link, pop in your username and password and then click sign me in. That will take you to this screen here. Now you will get some messages over here about money that's owed and payments that are due. I have no idea why they appear there, but there is nothing to pay and there is never anything due. So you can completely ignore that. Like I say, I'm not sure why that actually shows up, but there is never anything to pay on there. So completely ignore it. What you want to do is come over to the left hand side and click websites. At the moment it's previewing a little 123 reg holding page, but you can ignore that. That will just swap to your website preview fairly shortly, so just ignore that. Down here you've got edit website, so just click on that. That will load my system, which is called Bramble. If you've got fibre optic broadband like me, it will be really quick to load. It's pretty much instant. And if you're on a slower connection, it can take sort of up to 60 seconds for that to load. So that's basically getting you into the website. It begins on your home page, so the first thing you see is your home page. So what I'm going to show you now is how to navigate around that and make some changes. There's a few other things to note as well. The first thing I'm going to say is you'll see lots of weird symbols and odd spacing. You can completely ignore that. That's just the way that Bramble's set up. We're hiding certain elements on phones and tablets, and that's what it's displaying. So completely ignore those elements. It'll also do things like when you've got a slider with multiple images, it will stack them one on top of each other. But of course on the website that's not how they display. It rotates between them. So again, ignore layout, things like that which you're not sure about. And same with down here, it's showing you the order of which the slides are being shown. So again, you can ignore how they look. We know on the website they behave perfectly. You'll also see things that are repeated, so they're repeated for different sizing on tablets and on phones. So again, don't worry about any of that. You'll get strange things that don't look right, but just completely ignore them because we know that they're doing what they should be. Just don't remove or delete them. The next thing to mention is a lot of people get really worried about working on their website. Do remember you are working on the live website. So if you do delete and make lots of mistakes, you have actually changed that as long as you've hit that publish button. So if you've made mistakes and errors, and as long as you then don't hit that publish button, you can exit and it will cause no damage whatsoever. So for example, if I accidentally remove this bar here, and I didn't mean to do it, there's a couple of ways you can get out of that. You've got an undo button, which will put it back to how it was. And if you've done lots of alterations and things you didn't mean to do, so let's just delete that, delete the slider. We've got into a bit of mess there, and we've deleted all sorts of things that we didn't mean to. So what we don't want to do is publish. So all you have to do is exit your browser and just leave and make sure you've not clicked the publish button. And then basically you've done no harm whatsoever. There's no damage done, and when you go back in, everything will be as we left it. So that's just something I like to say because I know a lot of people get worried about working on the live website, but you know, if you've made mistakes or you're not sure what you've done, you've always got that option to exit and you've done no damage. So navigating around the home page, everything that you click you'll see highlights with this little green box. You've got options to change the fonts and the sizes. I do not recommend doing that at this stage, just because they've been optimized and changed ready for tablets and for phones. So if you change the fonts, increase the sizes, you may find that people on iPads and people on phones all of a sudden can't use the site properly, or it doesn't quite look right. So you're best to not touch the font sizes and the fonts too much. But you could go in and change the odd word. Much like Microsoft Word, you just highlight bits, over type. Again, if you didn't want to do it, you've got the undo button. And then you navigate down the page. Anything you come to. It's a good tip as well not to remove too much text, because all that text has been submitted to Google and as part of your keywords. So if you go and delete all of that text, obviously there's some keywords you might be taking out there which will affect your ranking. So it's a good tip to just change the odd word here and there. And obviously if you want to add bits in, you're free to do that as you want to, much like a Word document. So you'd make your alterations and your changes, and you'd go up there and you click your publish change button if you were happy with that. Again, I'm not going to obviously publish that. We'll put that back to how it was. And then each element you click, it's best to not change any images. If you want to change photographs, that's something I'll cover in another video because it is a little bit tricky. But for this one, I just want to get you into the website and give you the ability to make text changes. If images are something that you want to alter, like I say, I'll cover that completely separately. But this will basically give you the opportunity to go in, click each element, and overtype things. I mentioned in the video about putting these little header tags in. So I've tucked that on the bottom of the page, crammed full of keywords for Google. Again, it's best to not remove those. They're not there for people to read. They've just been there as extra keywords and as a heading to get some more traffic via Google. So yeah, that hopefully gets you around navigating around your homepage and making changes. I'm just going to exit out there and leave without publishing. What I wanted to show you next is how to get to other pages. So basically, when Bramble loads up, it loads your homepage. But up here, I've tried to label each page quite clearly, so it's fairly obvious what they're going to be. Anything that's got old in front of it is just an old version of a page we were working on, so you won't need to access or worry about those. I will remove those at some point. So you're just looking at all the other pages. You've got your blog pages, your main blog page, coaching page, and so on. So let's say if we wanted to change something on the NLP workshops, click the page, it brings the page up. Again, you could go in, make any alterations, change bullet points, do as you wanted to, change the date, change the venue, change the time. Anything like that is pretty straightforward to go in and access and change. And then again, you'd make whatever alterations and changes you wanted to and hit the publish button and you're done. And if you wanted to go into the business coaching page, again, you could go into that. Videos as well is another thing. You have to be a bit careful with videos. There's two versions. There's the version that appears on the computer, and there's the versions that resizes for tablets and phones. So again, you'll see strange things where they're stacked on top of each other with strange symbols. Just basically ignore those. Videos again are something at this stage that I would have to replace for you. But again, if you wanted to be able to do your own videos and just replace them, I can tell you how to do that. It's pretty straightforward. But again, you can come into this page, look at the text, tweak it. If you do tweak it, try to balance them out. So if you add lots of sentences down here, obviously what happens is you end up with the boxes misaligned, which can look a bit untidy. So the general rule is if you add a couple of sentences to this box, you should add a couple to that box to try and balance them out and keep them sort of equal. It just makes it a little bit easier to read and for users. Same with if you've got a box where there's 3, so this one's actually got 3 lines and these have got 2. I've just put the one with 3 in the middle, and that actually works fine. But you could, if you wanted to, write a bit more in this box and a bit more in this box so that all of those are on 3 lines, just so it balances out. And yeah, hopefully that's enough just to get you into the website, get you making simple alterations. Pretty straightforward. That's what Bramble is designed to be, very simple and very straightforward to use. I think all my customers quite like it for that reason. If there's anything I've not covered or you want to know anything else in particular, just let me know. And like I say, the main thing is go in, have a look, always exit and leave without saving changes if you're not sure what you're doing, and if you're confident, make the changes you want and hit the publish button. And that's it for now. So thanks for watching.